All right, cool. All right, everybody. We have actually two guests tonight. We got David Redmon, who is number 16, left-handed in the United States.
Whatever in the hook is, I don't know.
Or that's actually North America. So
is it North American rankings? Yeah. 16.
Number 16, man. It's good to have you. And Ike Ford. A lot of people know that big fella. Ex-powerlifting champ. So,
I'm number one in my own mind.
I think we all are, right?
Definitely.
So the number one thing I was worried about tonight is that I was going to be the ugliest one on the show because I had David and I had Donnie, them chiseled, physiques and all that. And then, now it's a competition on who's the ugliest between me and you. So,
hey, that's all good.
At least y'all got more to work with, man. I'm a one-trick pony, man. I have nothing up top. I got to leave it. I got to just smile pretty and all that.
Right. So yeah, David, I guess if you want to just introduce yourself, I introduced you a little bit, but you can kind of go through, your team or whatever you'd like, if you want to introduce.
Yeah. So obviously I'm David Redmon. 38.
Oh, did you lose him?
Oh, yeah, first.
Did it blank out on y'all? Yeah, it blacked out on me. But yeah,
okay. I can hear you now.
38. I pull with Mountain Mayhem out of Asheville, North Carolina. Brandon Moody is basically, I call him coach, but he gets pissed off at me. He says, "No, we're teammates." And I'm like, but I don't really tell you anything other than step it up. He's like, do this, do that. You need to do this. He'll text me at 10 o'clock at night and be like, do your wrist curls? Did you doing any back pressure work? And I'm like, sitting in the recliner. Hold on a second. I can't lie to him. So I'll have to run in there and grab a band real quick. Yeah, man, just 50. But yeah, man.
Good. That's good.
I'm having fun with it, man. I can't believe. I wished, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I wished I'd have found arm wrestling, 10 years ago, in my 20s. I was 34 before I even competed in any arm wrestling tournament whatsoever. So.
Oh, we're in the same boat, man. We're the same age. I just came up on my 5-year mark. So, yeah, I wish I would have been doing it since I was, 18 or whatever, but you got to start somewhere, man. And, Todd Hutchins, he started in his 40s, I think. And you see how far he's
34. He was 34.
Was he 34? Yeah. So you already made it on the rankings, man. And you just keep moving up from there. I've been impressed with you, especially this past, 12 months. Seen you have some nice wins, and you won the PAF belt, right? The 176 left-handed.
It's a 180. The PAF does 160, 180, 200.
Okay,
but yeah, it was the 180 belt. Brandon actually gave that belt up because he wasn't planning on pulling 180 anymore. He just got so big it was hard for him to make 176, or 180. But yeah, they put that belt up in August, and they just ran a left-handed 180 bracket, and the winner of it got it. I went undefeated, man, left-handed down there. Yeah, I was on a mission that day, man. I went last year to try to win that belt in Georgia in November. Actually, that's where I met Ike, and I fell short. I placed second to Sonny McDiffett, left-handed, and then I think I was competing for the right hand, excuse me, and I placed second to Zach Lee, which is a damn man. I surprised him by catching the hit, but man, he's just so smart on the table. He just sat there and just watched what I was doing, and literally I watched little micro movements, and he just. But yeah, I was able to seal the deal back in August. Yeah, I felt good. I got to really all that success lately. I've really got to just give to sobriety, really, if you want to be honest. Me and you've talked about this a whole lot before, but been sober 9 months now, and literally this year my whole trajectory has changed. I'm not having to cut 30 pounds to get to 176 anymore either. I was walking around about 205, but I'm 185 this morning. I mean, I'm 4 or 5 away from just making 180s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great, man. Congratulations on that too. Cause you know, like you see, we've talked about it. I've never really said much on here about it, but I mean, I just had my six years, December 5th. So, and yeah, I've noticed a huge difference. I mean, I didn't even start arm wrestling until a year and a little change after I stopped drinking. But I mean, just overall health and stuff, I mean, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
You don't wake up, you know, with that hangover and feeling like crap and you know, trying to get started at work and you're just like dragging. I mean, I still have my days like that, but it's not, you know, it's not alcohol.
Because you practice Thursday and then hit a big practice on Sunday too. You know.
Yeah, that's
the rough days at work.
Yeah, like that's the problem I run across is I try to get as much training in as possible, but you know, a lot of times I'm shoveling rock all day and toting wheelbarrows, and the whole day I'm toting wheelbarrows. I'm cupped, like my wrists are cupped, you know what I mean, and walking like that. And I come home and I'm hitting the gym for an hour and a half, and you know we practice 2 days a week, so usually Tuesdays and Saturdays. I just went to Adam's house Sunday and practiced, and they beat the hell out of me. So, so I've been sore, man, trying to recover from that. But I found I got a little bit of heavy lifting in today. But anyway, so you got a what is it, a tournament coming up? I know there's a 6-man double elimination.
January 21st. Yeah, we're gonna have a throwdown at Redmon's 5, just kind of like the one that you and Brandon pulled in, and me and Donnie had a match in November. I've been just calling it like a multi-team, multi-state practice, you know, but we've gotten to where we're getting super matches. I mean, we've got old Robert Webb, you know, he's back in the picture now. I seen him in August down in Ladson, and I got to talking to him, and then me and him hung out down in Daytona. We both went to that backyard brawl in October, which I also won left-handed undefeated. But anyways, he was like, man, I can't wait to get on the pool. I want to win some matches. And then he came all the way up to the house, you know, and watched y'all pull and watched us pull. And the other day, Dean Sane was asking me about a match, and I asked Robert, I said, man, you want to match with Dean Sane? He was like, man, we used to train 20 plus years ago together. And I was like, perfect. You know, it ain't going to be like somebody you don't know. And so I'm excited. But yeah, we got 6 super matches set up. The one I'm really, I mean, I can't wait to see Brandon and Des pull. They're just both powerhouses left hand, man. And I know Des is just, I know he's going to have a whole lot of weight on him, but man, Brandon's just a damn left-hand wizard. I don't know what it is. I feel really good pulling left-handed at everybody until I pull Brandon. And then I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I pulled Brandon a few times left. I want to say, you know, 3, 4, something like that. I'm 0-3, 0-4, whatever, left-handed against him. So it was always, like he said, whenever we're having a right-handed match, you know, he was the challenger, but left-handed, I was the challenger, and that's, you know, that's a fact. Yeah, I mean, I I can't do nothing with Desi left-handed either. So, I mean, it's good. For me, I think the power, straight up power, is obviously probably Desi. You know what I mean? But I think, like you said, Brandon's a left-handed wizard, so it's not always about the power. You know what I mean? And Brandon's not weak either. I mean, his left is very, very strong.
He's so strong.
Yeah, I actually pulled Moody at Joe Rogers' house in that little round robin they had. What was last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I only double his weight, but he went low on me, and that's where you don't want to go low. I was pressing everybody, so.
Yeah, I watched it. That was long as hell, but me and my wife sat here and watched that. It was on a Sunday, wasn't it?
Right, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched that whole thing. That was really cool.
I was tired after that. That was a lot of matches.
Hell, Joe Rogers kicked ass in that. He was the lightest guy.
Joe Rogers smoked me, man. I was like, he knew where to go. He took my hand,
He's so good, man. He's so good.
Joe has a nice hit, man. His hit is real solid. And if you're not ready for it, man, it can catch you off guard.
Yeah.
I have no pins whatsoever right-handed on Joe Rogers.
Oh, no?
None.
I mean, he's strong.
Left-handed, me and him had a super match last October, and I barely snuck out a 3-2 on him. And I was scared. We went to the final round. It was 2-2, and I was like, "Damn, he's gonna kick my ass on my own front porch. This sucks." I'm looking at my wife like, God Almighty, man. I'm gonna be embarrassed. So I barely pulled it out on. But since then, it's weird because we've had to pull. We both drove the Tennessee State Championship and ended up having to pull each other. And then we drove to the Lads in 2 weeks after that, and both we were pulling each other, and we're like, "Hey, how you doing, man? How's the wife?"
Right.
But I finally I figured it out on left hand. I ain't gonna I ain't gonna give it away too much on here because I want him to have good success. I love pulling Joe, but
right.
He's got me figured out though right-handed. So anybody needs Joe's got it figured out. I have no pins on him right-handed. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's. I remember at one point, man, Joe was like was on fire. He was winning, and I think he got injured or something. Something happened. I don't remember entirely. I know he had a hernia, and that might have kind of slowed things down for him. But I wouldn't. I could see him go to any tournament around and finish easy top 2 or 3.
Oh yeah.
Either hand, you know what I'm saying? So he's definitely a respectable puller, and I like to see him get back in the saddle and just start climbing again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I think he's getting healthy soon.
I was about to say, he was pulling 54s, and he was the 160 champ for the PAF. But I think both hands, and then I think he still has one at 160, but he's been pulling 176 and 180 and placing top 3. I mean, that's where I've pulled him in the last, I don't know, regionals last year in June in Charlotte, and then Ladson, and then Tennessee. Like every tournament I've pulled in the last year and a half, he's pulled my weight class in the 76s. But yeah, he's doing good, man. His right felt lethal the other day.
Right. Yeah, I've pulled him quite a bit, man, and he's got a really good hit. His hand is real solid too. I just pulled him Sunday actually, but they kind of ran the train on me, man. They were all lined up, and everybody's just sitting there. I'm not gonna say what we were working on, but I'm trying to do certain things, and they're all trying to do certain things, and I'm just, man, getting blown up, wore out. But it was a good training session.
Getting ready for the big Tennessee showdown.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's you get. I'm arm wrestling not to be, just mediocre, man. I'm always trying to rise. I want to be East versus West. I want to be, Yeah. I mean, that's just me. I'm real competitive. So
I'm the same way, man.
what I wanted to ask Ike, man, you remember, you're talking about having to pull Joe Rogers here and Joe Rogers there. It's like that's the same way with like me and Ike. Like the last, what was the last 2 or 3 we pulled in Georgia, we pulled in Ladson.
Yeah.
And it's like every time we go somewhere, we're always end up like, you got me like the first 2 matches we got each other.
Somehow in Ladson, I pulled you first match. There was like 16 guys in the class, right? I pulled you the first match, JJ Bailey the second match, and then I pulled you again the third match.
Man.
Yeah, I said something's up with these brackets, man. But then we went to Pool of the Mountains, and we had to pull.
Oh, that's what
you give me a gift and lay down.
Well,
Actually,
I just don't think it's right to. I don't know, man. I mean, if I'm pulling like, every freaking weight class, and you're pulling one, I don't think it's fair if, especially for buddies, man, to go in there and just hammering on you.
I got some good wins. Like, I'm glad you did that because I went on to beat, what was the guy, Rusty? Yeah, that was a good.
That was a big, that dude was slow.
Yeah, he beat Ron Bath and Paul Passmore the year before. I don't know what happened to him, but I got him. He must have quit. He must have quit training.
You're just that strong, man.
If you go inside, and you're not strong, like real strong, I'm good with that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's just I appreciate that. Then I had to pull Shane Owens, and that's just scary.
We're gonna have to get him on the show, man. He's mentioning like every time we have one of these, somebody mentions him, and he's just a beast, dude. Like I pulled him Sunday, man, and dude, I'm talking like in there deep as I could be, sucked all the way in, and just wham. I'm just like, God, dude. I'm like, try it again. Wham, just busting me open every time. I'm just like, God, so strong.
Man, he's like an anvil, dude. I've only got to grip up with him a couple of times at tournament after pulls, but I actually got to give him credit for helping me with how I was able to manipulate my weight so good. He was the one that told me about the little personal sauna to put in the living room.
Yeah.
You literally just sit in here and watch TV and just cut the weight, dude. In your own comfortable home. It's not comfortable inside that damn tent, but
right. Now I'm gonna have to get some advice on that. I suck at it, dude. You know what I mean? So I'd rather like as we get close, I mean, I'll be 200 on a nose, in a couple weeks. I mean, I'm pretty much like 207 right now. I'll be 200 on a nose in a couple weeks, and I'll sit there and just train. And then when I go in, I'll weigh in the night before or whatever, whenever I go to pull Robbie. But, I'm so bad at it. I'd rather just get to the weight where I'm supposed to be, have my body there and me there for, some time. That way I get used to it. And I'm usually walking around about 205 anyway. It's not even,
you could make 76s even with them big ass calf muscles. I'm telling you.
Well, you have to share the
because I mean, this time last year, when I went to Georgia, all the tournaments up until this year, I was walking around at over 200 pounds the weekend before the tournament. And I pulled 76s and 180s. I've cut 31 pounds in 5 days and then weigh 200 the next day when it's time for the tournament. But it's only, if it's same day weigh-ins, it would be ridiculous to do that. But if I can get on the scale at 6 p.m. on a Friday, by noon, I'll weigh 200 pounds again.
Right. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's amazing. That's very amazing.
Yeah.
You can ask. When I cut weight to pull Alabama, and you can ask Ike. You can ask Ike how bad I look, like the weigh-in the night before. You know what I mean? I was just like, I didn't eat nothing for like a day and a half. I didn't have no water for like 36 hours, and I was just like, man, I was roasted. But I mean, I'd be willing to bet. You know, I weighed in right at 90 kilograms, and I'd be willing to bet that I was probably pushing 212 something the next day.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah. I hate the way I look the Friday because, you know, living in Asheville, I'm always driving usually about 2 hours at least for a tournament, sometimes 3 or 4. I haven't missed Ladson in 3 years. I mean, we went in 2020, and my wife told me, she said, we're going to this tournament every year because it was right near the beach, and it was a little right before the kids go back to school getaway for us. But I cut weight, and then at Friday, I want to weigh the weight that I'm going to weigh in by 8 a.m. or so. And then I just have to maintain that throughout that day. And it's horrible. My wife looks at me. She's like, God, you look weird as hell. My eyes will be sunk in. And I just look horrible. And then by about 10 that night, if I can weigh in at 6, I mean, I've already gained 10 pounds back. I'll drink probably a full gallon of fluid before I even have to pee. And then when it goes, man. I spend the rest of the evening just a liter an hour up until about 3 hours before the tournament. And then I probably shouldn't do this, but then I'll kill a couple Red Bulls, and it gets that sugar level back up because I cut all the carbs out, all sodium, have any salt the weekend before and all the way up through the time. I cut my meals down to 2 boiled eggs, a banana, and a can of tuna the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But I mean, it's so methodical. GSP, George St. Pierre, it's his exact weight cut. That's what I use. But I don't have to now. I'm literally only cutting 5 to 9 pounds now. So I can't wait to see how strong I'm going to be in March, because I had to cut 14 pounds when I pulled Donnie, because I was 194 the week before. And after I cut down to 180, I never went back up to 190. I floated between 185 and 188 since then. So
that's wild, man. I'm so bad at it that I always was screaming same day weigh-ins, man. Same day weigh-ins. Don't do none of that night before crap, man. Just because I suck at it. But you know, I guess I really haven't taken, you know, had to lose a bunch at one time. I mean, usually I start pretty early. Like I've already started. Not that I was that heavy anyway. I just cleaned up my eating, you know.
Yeah.
Super low carb. You know, obviously a lot of good protein, good fat, stuff like that. More like a keto, but higher protein than a keto would call for. You know what I'm saying?
And that type of food is fun, man, because who don't love to eat cheese and meat, you know? Like,
oh yeah,
grill it.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I like bread and stuff, man, and you know, rice and all that type stuff. But really, I mean, if you had to give one up, I mean, I'm cool with giving that bread and stuff up and just keeping, you know, the ribeyes and the chicken and venison, all that other stuff that you can get in there. You know what I mean?
Got to keep the deer meat in there, man.
Yeah, we're out, man. We're out. We ain't shot nothing.
Man, I tagged out in bow season.
That's crazy, man. We don't have the best land that we're actually on right now. Like I was telling you, they had them like messed up looking deer, man. You have like one side's like this and one's like on this side, you know, like they were weird looking, maybe inbred, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
from Horry County deer.
Yeah, that's some Horry County deer, man. That's some beach deer.
Yeah.
That's the beach deer. Oh man, that's funny. So so I know you got this you know, 6-man double elimination thing coming
Yeah.
up. I know there's you, Donnie, Kirkland Prince, Greg. Who's the other two that's in that?
Ed Webb out of Tennessee,
Yeah.
and Scott Gootlieb. I'm not sure if you know him. He pulls with Damien. I met him actually in regionals last year. He pulled, and he was really strong then, and it just started. And then I think he's somebody to really watch in the next year or two. I've only got to pull him one time, which was right after yours and Brandon's match.
Mm-hmm.
And he was super strong. But he's fairly new. But yeah, he's going to be in it. I know that he was wanting to do something. He was like really, really excited about coming to that last one. And I was like, well, do you want to do some kind of super match? I was like, and then I had that idea to do it was going to be like a 4-man round robin. And I was like, man, I think it would be cooler just to get like 6 and run it like a bracket. I mean, that's basically what it's going to be, is just like a bracket in a tournament. But
Yeah.
Ed, he's been wanting a match with somebody, but everybody that I've tried to match him up with have had something going on, or the weight class doesn't make sense. You know, he's bumped up from 154, 160s. He's walking around about 175 pounds right now. Ed's getting really big. Kirkland, he's always, man, I love watching him and Donnie both, man. I love their style, and it's not mine at all. Like how they're just so fired up. They're just some firecrackers at the table. And I don't know why. I just think that's so cool. I can't do it, but I feed good off of that energy. It gets me fired up, but I'm still, you would never know it. You know, I'm just,
I'm the same way. I'm the same way, man.
Like I was telling Jamie, my wife, I was like, man, like he has no expression whatsoever. Like he's just, and then boom, he might crack a smile every once in a while, but Ryan's just got this stone cold face. Like he's all channeled.
You just get in his zone, man. You know what I mean? And I do notice a lot of times, like every tournament, my first match, man, I go to set my arm up and I could feel my hand is just sitting there shaking, you know what I'm saying? Because the adrenaline.
Yes.
And I'm like so pumped up inside, and I just throw it up, you know. I mean, I've only pounded the table like one time ever that I won anything, and that's the time I beat Paul Passmore at that Georgia, like Ike's
Georgia arm fights.
Georgia arm fights. Yeah, that was a badass event. But yeah,
I watched that one live. I watched I think it was me and my wife. She loves watching arm wrestling. She's like a huge arm wrestling fan. You wouldn't you wouldn't believe it until you see her at a tournament. You've been around. She's usually the loudest person in there.
right.
Yeah. She watches all this. Yeah, I remember watching that. And I was like, oh, Ryan just got Passmore. I was like, man, he's killing it. And then you've gone on a damn tear since then. You're always in the mix.
Yeah. I just I've been waiting on a kind of a chance to pull somebody that's ranked, you know what I mean? And luckily, you know, Robbie Larray kind of reached out to me and asked me what I was doing March 18th. And I was like, is this it? And then he was like, you think you want to pull Robbie? I was like, yeah. You know what I mean?
It makes so much sense. I can't believe y'all never pulled each other. Whenever I was watching it,
I've never touched either hand. No.
That's crazy. I would have thought y'all pulled 10 times, you know, but
now, like it's weird. Like I've been to 2 events that he was at, and he was 76. This is when I first started. He was 176 back then at the one event, and then he came to Ladson that year and pulled Adam for the belt, the 200-pound belt. And I think that's the only 2 events that we've been at together.
Oh,
we've never pulled, man. And I mean, I'm excited, dude. I mean, I don't know how I don't know how anybody couldn't be. I mean, he's all I'm thinking about. So,
yeah. He's good, man.
Oh, yeah.
Both so good. I mean, he's got some really big wins. So I want to say, didn't he beat like Craig Touye like a year ago?
He beat Craig. He's I mean, he's got pins on Adam. He's got he beat that, what's the WAL guy that he just beat like easily?
Oh, Mendez.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
what's his name? Chad?
Quinlan?
Quinlan, yeah. So
Yeah.
and he walked through Quinlan, and he's a respected puller. And I'm trying to think who else. I mean, I don't know, but the dude's beat. On paper, he's gonna walk. On paper, he destroys me. If you go by like big wins and stuff, but I'll tell you right now, man. I'll be ready. I'll be strong as I ever have been, and we'll see what happens, man. I'm excited.
I believe it, man. I believe it. And I'm a
excited.
fan of both of y'all. Y'all both have like a real, I mean, I've never seen either one of y'all just like, at the table. Both of y'all are just so calm, cool. I think it's going to be a badass match. I cannot wait to watch it. We had already planned on going to that tournament. And I'm sure we'll touch base on why I'm definitely going to it now. But
Right.
I was like, damn, man, we've got to see that match. I was like, that's going to be good. And even I think Brandon actually told me about it before I'd seen it on Facebook. He was like, man, Ryan and Robbie's pulling. It's going to be a damn good one. And then I got on there and seen it or whatever. But yeah, man, best of luck to you, dude.
No, I appreciate it, man. You don't see me, like you said, kind of show emotion or nothing. And if I go ahead and get that first one, you might see a little bit. I don't know. We'll see, man. I might wait to the end. But he's a super good puller. I mean, he can pull anywhere too. He can hook, top roll. He's got a longer arm, bigger hand. So, but that's the story of my life, right? I mean, I pull longer arms and bigger hands every time I grip up with somebody, pretty much. So, but actually, that's a good segue to you'll be at the same event, and you have a pretty big match too.
Yeah. Sure do, man. It's gonna be yeah. Yeah, Dalton, man. So it's funny how that worked out because after the last event, I sat down and got a list of tournaments that was going to be, and I think I actually shared it on Mountain Mayhem page. And I was like, I always go to Tri-State and Tennessee. It's only 90 miles from my house to where that tournament is. So I'll be in an hour and a half.
Right.
And then usually I go in August. I have the last 2 years went to Tennessee State. I missed Tri-State last year, but I was going to go to Alabama. But the week before is also my daughter's birthday, her 13th birthday, and we're going to take her to a concert. So after we drop however much that ends up being, the next weekend, it just wasn't going to work out for me to go to Alabama. And then Lorray asked me, hey, man, you want to pull Dalton Duncan? And I was like,
hell yeah.
Does he want the belt or just money? Because he's ranked above me in North America and in the South. He's ranked 15th. I'm ranked 16th. Then he's ranked 3rd in the South. I'm ranked 4th in the South. So I was like, hell yeah. And Dalton told me that he wasn't really interested in the PAF belt. If he was going to put up money, he wanted money put up. And I was like, totally understand. Let's make it happen. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. That'll be, I think, my biggest challenge to date so far.
Yeah.
He's no joke. He's really, really good. and young and been pulling probably twice as long as I have. So, and he's got that long arm. You know, me and you are built pretty much the same. I've got short Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. You know, my fingers are like stubby as hell. My hand's wider than it is long.
Yeah, that's the same thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like my fingers are tiny.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to deal with long arm, big hand. But I've started adjusting to that pretty well. The good thing is I get to train with Brandon, Delfino, and Chris, and every one of them, they have a long hand. Every one of them has real long hand. And then Sean, one of my other teammates, he's got his hand's twice as, and my hand's thick, but you know, his hand's huge. His hand's probably about as big as an ox, just a thick, just mass.
Yeah.
I really have to work hand every practice. I have no other choice. I mean, I've worked 30 seconds on getting a grip before I do anything because I can't squeeze none of their damn hands. They just, which is good for me because that's usually what I end up having to run into at tournaments. So I will be prepared. He might, I don't know, I doubt he's looking at it like this, but you know, I'm old, significantly older than him. Like my stepson's his age.
Right.
He's actually going to be 24 in March, and I think Dalton's 23, 24, somewhere's in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. I couldn't wait. I wanted to tell everybody, and then I did.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah,
Dalton's a super nice guy too.
Do what?
Dalton's a super nice guy. He's a good puller.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's surprisingly strong because, well, a few years ago he was really a string bean, you know. And I went down to Alabama, and he was like, "Hey, all right, let's warm up," you know. And his hand's strong, and so we warmed up. I said, "Shit, I don't even know if I want to pull in the tournament today. I don't feel too good." this little bitty guy feels strong, but you know, he's just for his size, he's got a lot of strength. But I'm pulling for you, David.
He's wiry as hell, man. You know, it's hard. He's got so much tendon strength. Like I said, I think he's been pulling for about 8 years since he was a youngin.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm sure I've got my work cut out for me. I really hope I do. But I'm gonna be ready. And I'm not gonna be having to cut 20, 30 pounds either. You know, I'm walking around within 9 pounds of weight right now. I think we're 101 days away. I'll have to look and see, but yeah.
No, it's 104.
Is it 104?
Looking at my board, I didn't change it today, or did I? I don't remember changing it. I got it wrote on my board.
Okay.
It says Robbie Russell, 105 days. So I don't know if I changed it today or not. And it says train harder.
Nice. But yeah, we're a little.
I don't know if you can see it.
Okay.
Maybe not, but anyway.
Yeah.
It says Robbie Russell, 105 days, train harder. But that's right here in front of my pulley system and everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird, man. I just took it down, but when I got up this morning, I didn't work today. Obviously, it's raining, and me and you do the same kind of work. I do landscaping and lawn maintenance. But I went up to my work and just rode around just to make sure everything was fine. And then I come home and hell, I started training. I've got on this push-up, pull-up regimen. It's crazy, man. And everybody's like, what? Push-ups, pull-ups? But that's what I do 3 days a week. I do 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups, just 3 days a week. And then I do everything else like resistance band. I was doing a bunch of side pressure on a weight stack, you know, and then hooking a chain to it and destroying my elbow 2 days before practice, you know. And even Chris, one of my buddies, you know Chris, he was like, "Man, you're limiting yourself, David." He said, "That's why you're sticking." And it made sense because I'm stopping myself automatically. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take that out. And I did, and I can already tell the difference in my mobility. Like
Right.
rolling through everything, I feel so good just
Right.
in 4 or 5 days difference.
Yeah, I don't like to do. You see all these guys doing this side pressure training like Todd Hutchins style, and then and honestly, man, I could do like 50 pounds or something, and I'm kind of like, man, that's rough, but I can bang on the inside all day long and be fine. You know what I mean? But I don't like training side pressure. And I might get some flack for it, but I don't train side pressure. My side pressure is good.
Yeah.
I do like training, off to the side, not straight side, but maybe at an angle like you're getting pulled open,
Yeah.
So not instead of straight back or straight side, that angle in between. I like, pulling like that and stuff. I guess you can call that a little bit of side pressure or whatever, but it's back pressure too. Yeah, I did straight side pressure, man. I might take a band or something and just kind of, do a little something like that. But
where I'm going to limit it from, because I could tell a huge difference in just going straight side. I wouldn't feel it so much in my elbow, but that outside, I guess the brachialis, just wouldn't feel good. But like what you said, if the cable's in front of me and if I'm going at an angle, or if I kind of just turn, it just felt like a different tension and wasn't painful. I don't want to do it. I know a little bit of pain is required for growth and stuff, but
yeah, but there's pain, and then there's like pain, you know what I mean? There's like, that's not good pain. Like after practice Sunday when I got beat down, and Monday morning I woke up and that was good pain. Like it just felt like everything was wore out, felt like my chest was wore out, everything.
Yeah.
That was good pain, but you're getting up like that sharp, like just very uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not about that side pressure, but
Man, go to grab a towel and your arm goes limp.
I'm telling you. Dude, how do you feel about that, Ike? You train side pressure at all?
I train at an angle, kind of like you're talking about. I call it a 45 degree, maybe less. I'm really strong when it comes to like moving weights and stuff, but not all that. It don't carry over when you're arm wrestling somebody, because I'm probably stronger than most any arm wrestler as far as moving weight, But it just don't carry over all the time because you got your hand to account for and everything else. But I think I could do, like, I had a setup with a cable, and like I was doing like 95, 100 pounds working out with that on side pressure. But pulling you, I feel like you just peel me open. I get where I'm set, but like coming from way out and pulling this way,
Yeah.
I guess I'm really strong. It's just finishing it.
Right. That lasts a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm really trying to work on, like from here, and I'm just more like use my body, to fall through if I could get that lock in.
Right,
So,
right.
Yeah, I just stuck at arm wrestling. That's the problem.
You're stupid, man. Nah, you've been doing really well too, man. You've you've improved a lot too over the past 12 months. We all have.
Well, then that's we're all doing good. I've known about Ike since I started arm wrestling. He was in the scene whenever I started in 2018. So
it's just I don't know. It's like I'm in a funny spot still. There's all them really elite guys, and then there's the rest of us, So I'm just trying to keep in the game, so I could beat up on them elite guys soon.
I joke around if somebody asks me about arm wrestling. Oh, are you good? And I'm like, yeah, maybe I'm the best of the worst, or the worst of the best. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I was somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Redmon, you might not know this. Me and Ryan talk about it every day, so he knows. I started doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu a couple months ago.
Oh, shit.
Just to get healthy and lose weight. I was, at one time I was like 405 pounds.
Really?
And yeah, I'm under 370 today. So I'm trying to get down, which
Oh,
I don't
man.
care about being 242 or anything. I don't think it's in my cards. But if I could get around 250, I'd be happy,
Oh, man. Well, congratulations, dude. I wish you the
appreciate
best of luck on the journey. Shit, I'm sure you can do it, man. Just kick its ass.
Oh yeah, I've been cutting the carbs. That's the only way I could really lose weight is cutting the carbs out, or otherwise I overeat. And I don't eat as much as a 400-pound guy does, but I just I'm real. I have real bad miles to gallon or something. I could look at a donut and gain 5 pounds. So, but
That's
nah,
me.
it's right.
That's me. Like if I was to, like, I've tried counting calories and still eating like the carbs and stuff, and it just don't. It don't come off. Once I
Right.
cut the carbs, and it's just like, man. I mean, I could do I could just eat whatever and then do no carbs for a week, and I could lose 12 pounds. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or whatever. And I mean, I don't know if it's just my body likes to hold on to that water, the extra water from, eating the carbs and stuff, or I don't know, man. But, I,
Yeah, it's a combination of that, actually, man. Salt, sodium and carbs. I mean, like I said, like when I do that weight cut, you eliminate those, and you don't retain so much water. I mean, it sheds right off. I mean, you don't just put a tank top on and start sweating. I have to put some damn work in, sauna suit, and sit in my building, and then sit my little tin in here. But yeah, them damn carbs, they'll hold on to that water forever.
They make me feel bad. Without them, I feel a lot better. And
Yeah.
if I could just keep off of them, I know they make me feel bad. It's like drinking or something. Like I drink rarely. I've never had I was a drug addict at one time. I've been clean since 2009, but never had a problem with drinking for some reason. But if I drink, I feel awful, and I'm like, why do I do this? And that's like eating junk, man. It's like you feel all right when you eat it. Oh, it tastes good, but then you feel like trash, man. So just try to stay away from that junk, man.
Hell yeah.
and I'm telling you, like after every event, like, if my wife didn't go, she don't like, I'll drive up in the morning 5 hours, weigh in, do the event, and I'll drive back home. You know what I'm saying? She wants to spend the night and stuff, and I'm just ready to get back home. So sometimes she don't come. But I noticed that, like, every time I'm texting her on my way home, I'm like, yo, order a pizza. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, order a pizza, I'll get home and I'll eat the whole damn thing. And I wake up in the morning and I'm in the bathroom 3 or 4 times before noon. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's the same thing. The carbs make me feel like crap, and I can't ever get full, really full, like I can if I'm, if you have a problem getting full, try eating 6 eggs with something. That, like, eggs will fill you up big time, and they're low calorie and they're good for you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But it's that protein that keeps you full, that protein, that good fat, if you were to eat whatever, avocados, or even the egg yolks, you know what I'm saying? That's a good fat for you.
Yeah, for sure.
I snack on almonds. I'll buy a little can of almonds, and it lasts me about all week. Why I'm in, because I run a service van, and another thing, like doing the low carb, you don't really get hungry like you do if you just eat. Like if you got up in the morning and ate some toast or something without any protein, you'll be starving in like an hour or two. And which I pretty much don't eat until lunchtime anyway now, But just cutting the carbs just really helped my cravings out.
Yeah.
I got to kind of make myself eat some protein. You know what I mean? You really don't feel like eating.
Nah.
So,
Nah, I like, I eat one meal a day.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I eat after I get off of work, sometimes I'll do a fasted workout. And it's not on purpose. It's just like, well, I'm not even starving. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that hungry. But yeah, I mean, I eat one meal a day. And it could be a pound of chicken, 12 ounces of steak or something, and a damn 2 heads of broccoli. And then that's what I eat. I shove it all into one meal. But doing that. I haven't noticed like no kind of, loss of strength or having a problem being able to keep put weight on or anything. I mean, I haven't noticed much of a difference. There is like a little transition period when you first start doing it where you feel, like crap. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I like doing the OMAD and protein.
David, I'm going to try to come up there and to your house in January. I don't want to set up nothing or anything, of course, but I want to come up there. I've never been up to your place.
Man,
pull some of them guys, man.
Man, you're absolutely welcome up here anytime, Mike. It's actually gotten so big that we had to hold it at a restaurant the last time. It was at a Mexican restaurant because, I mean, I want to say we had probably 70 people come up there. There was
a lot of people.
There was a lot of damn people. We had 40 chairs and every one of them was full, and there was 20, 30 people standing around at all times. I was overwhelmed. I was like, holy crap. Like, who put out the memo? I was pretty excited. And then like within a week or so, like everybody that came was like, man, let me know next time. I had a bunch of people that don't even arm wrestle, just family, friends, from here and there. And we even had people walking in off the street. Like we just showed up because it sounds like an MMA fight out on the street. And it was when me and Donnie was pulling, he's like, but yeah, it's turned into a thing, man. It's pretty cool. I mean, I love it. I didn't think that arm wrestling I was going to get this involved in it. I actually did it through Tough Man contest. I was fighting in one, me and Delfino, both of us. He fought in heavyweight, luckily, because that would have sucked to meet one of your best training partners, fighting him first. But the guy that got me into arm wrestling, Bobby Cersei, he said, David, man, you need to come do this arm wrestling thing. You're strong as hell, and I couldn't box, man. I'm not good at all. I could probably fight, maybe, I don't know, but I just can't box. I would get punched, and by the time I went to punch, they would be beside me punching me again. I mean, I just couldn't move. I sucked at it. But I was super strong. If I landed a punch, I was good. But I went and entered a tournament, and I arm wrestled Delfino, and there was a significant weight difference, but there just wasn't nobody there, and he beat me. And then he kind of lit a fire under me. I was like, damn, man, I didn't like that. And the next time I met him, there it was. And then after I won that little belt, it was a local tournament here. I started pulling, training with Chris and Dale, and I met Johnny and Joe Rogers and all those guys. And my first arm wrestling match in a pro tournament was against Adam Warzinski.
Oh man.
and my second match, I actually won against this guy named Eric St. Martin. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, I know Eric.
I haven't seen him in about a year or two, but and I beat him, and it actually surprised everybody there because he was known, and it was my first tournament. I walked in half drunk, up in Boone, drinking them craft beers up there in college town, and yeah, my first match, I went up against Adam, and he's like, and it was 3 or 4 years ago now, and he was young, but he was still huge already, and I was like, all right, come on. I went, and my hand stayed, and he plowed through me, and then I won the next match, and then my third match was against Brandon Moody. So needless to say, I went loss, win, loss, and I was out both hands. That's how it went. So I went home sad. I was all up in my feelings, left, didn't even get my medals. I was just my wife had to drive me home. I was an embarrassment. But then I got my crap together, and and losses, and I've heard you say this, losses really do motivate me real big.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully I will have the fire in March, because I'm coming off of a victory against Donnie,
Yeah.
And that was kind of a gauging process. I felt more for him, see where he's at, because I'd offered a match to 2 or 3 different people, and I had some matches set up, and then it fell through, and then a couple other guys just couldn't make it. We couldn't make the time work, and Donnie was like, "Hell yeah, I'm in." And I just thought it was a good opportunity to get his name out there, plus see where he's at. He's in the mix. He's just 1 spot below me in the Carolina rankings. To me, that's a pretty big deal. Top 5. He's been pulling 2 years.
Oh yeah.
He's doing damn good, man. I love Donnie. He's like a brother to me, and my wife and his wife click like sisters, man. Yeah. I can't wait to see him. He's coming up in January as well.
Yeah, he's strong, man. He's a good guy, good puller, good family man. I would not but nice things to ever say about him, man.
Donnie's good people.
I know he gets fired up. Like whenever I went and pulled my left-handed match, that it was just hilarious, man. Like I'm trying to focus, and he's like, "Let's go, Ryan!" And he's like, loud as anything, man. And I'm just shaking my head, smiling, because I'm like, man, oh, it's funny.
He's with me. Yeah, it was funny. Actually, my sister-in-law came and asked my wife whenever me and Donnie was getting up to the table, and he's like, just he goes to his zone. That's what he does. It's his ritual. And she was like, "Does he hate David?" Jamie was like, they talk almost every day. They love each other. It's just part of his that's just part of his ritual. Yeah, like I said.
It's
I
hard.
think I need to get more serious on the table, because I'll just be laughing, whatever. That's the way I am. And like with Shane, he comes up to the table even after, like he could be pulling somebody else or anything, and he'll walk by you. He's just in a whole nother world,
Yeah.
I'm like,
you got to be careful, dude. If Shane is walking to the stage, don't give him knuckles. I learned that shit the hard way, man. I was right in his path, and I didn't want to be like in the way, so I just kind of threw my knuckles up. He was like, it was like smack. I was like, oh shit, man! Like I was scared to death for whoever he was about to arm wrestle. I was like, God, man, I hope you got all your damn shit in order. I hope you're. Yeah, he's a big.
That's funny, man. Yeah, he gets fired up.
Yeah, you ain't got no big boys up there that want to pull somebody that's not real good like me.
Man, Sean Moore, he's dropped a significant amount of weight. He's on the new regimen right now, and it's cutting carbs. That's what he's done. I think he's dropped a little bit over 20 pounds in a month.
Yeah.
He's doing real good. I want to say he's about 290.
Okay.
And Sean's he's a little bit taller than me. He's probably 5'11", 6 foot. I'm just a hair over. I'm gonna say 5'10", but I think it's about 5'9" and an eighth, somewhere in there. I'm kind of short. So
Me too.
But yeah,
I'm 5'7" and a half at the moment.
He's getting good, man. Sean just started pulling last August, so he's been pulling about 15 months now, and he's getting real good. He's had 2 super matches. He's pulled a few tournaments. Let's see, he's pulled PAF finals last year in Georgia. That was his first tournament he ever pulled. And he pulled Tri-State in March. I don't think he went up to Boone in April, and then he pulled Tennessee State. And then he's had a super match with Brent Presnell, and then him and Joel went in November. And
how'd he do with Joel?
Joel, well, at the beginning I thought he had it lit, but whenever he hit, Joel was just able to get him open just enough to where whenever Sean went again, he opened up just a little bit too much, and Joel having that longer lever, he was able to really just get back over on him. And but he was in the match. He just, I think he was overwhelmed. He's just so new, and he knew Joel was really, he's seasoned. You know, he's been pulling for a long time.
Yeah, I hadn't pulled Joel in years.
I hadn't seen him in 3 years. You know?
Yeah, the last time we seen him, we were down in Atlanta for one of where they had the expo when Laterio used to do it, and I got a left hand win on Joel. I was so happy about that because we were, I was so new, and it's probably been 4 years or 5 years ago, and I got a win on him. But I think his right hand's his bread and butter, anyway.
Yeah,
and my right was hurt at the time, so I didn't get to pull him right. But Brent, how about Brent? He's a powerhouse, isn't he?
I want to say somebody mentioned Brent. Yeah, he's a beast, man. I'm trying to remember. He beat somebody really good, man, at one of the events. Was it like I can't remember the dude's name, man. Who was in that little round robin thing that it was like, I think it was Passmore and two other dudes, or
yeah, it was I was so new, I didn't know everybody then.
Jesse
Barnett.
Yeah, didn't he beat Jesse Barnett left-handed, or
I think he did. I think he did. I think he did get a win on Jesse, and Paul Passmore actually had to battle back and beat Jesse twice in that.
Oh, really?
Because Jesse had a win on Passmore that day too.
Jesse was a stud, man, and I think Brent beat him at like
close
right around that time or that event.
I think you're right. Yeah, I can't remember the other guy that was in that round robin. But anyway, yeah.
Boys, I can't help you.
Yeah, it's been a long time ago. The only thing I remember from that event is that bodybuilding chick broke her arm against Candy Passmore. And that was the first arm break I ever seen in a tournament. And I was like, oh my God. Do I really want to do this,
Yeah. Dude, that's what happened at Alabama, man. Like the 198s go up the pool. I'm on deck, right? Two guys go up. They're inside. Boom. I'm like, oh, man. So I'm like, the next person has to go pull after this just happened, dude. And I'm like, what do I do? And I just straight sideways.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably not the best way to go after you see an arm break, but
I've only seen one myself. I was actually table side when Shane broke his in Boone. That's the only arm break I've witnessed.
Is that where Shane broke his arm at?
Yeah. It was up there at Boone, August 2019.
That was against my teammate. Yeah.
Yeah. It was scary. I remember that dude's face too. Everybody was it was loud. I was like, holy shit. But I think Shane even says that day, that moment really changed his life and his trajectory. It lit a fire under his ass, man. When he come back, and he's been on the tear, and he's had multiple injuries, but he's a force, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, whoever he pulls next is in trouble. I don't know who it's going to be. But I think he's close to like 280, 290 or something at the moment. So I think, whoever he pulls in that super heavyweight is they're going to have a handful.
Man.
I
It's coming for him.
I pulled them, and like I said, like recently, and it's just, I mean, it's scary, man. So whoever it is, they need to be ready.
Has he got his eyeball on anybody right now?
No, I don't think. I mean, I'm trying to think. He might have said somebody. I don't want to get no names wrong, but he might have said somebody Sunday, or with Shane. He don't give a shit, man. He'll just.
Oh yeah.
And he deserves something, a big name, high up in the rankings too, because I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm not pretty sure. I'm 100% certain that he is ranked in North America now. So
yeah, I think he's top. He's somewhere 17th, 18th, 16th, somewhere in the bottom half of the bottom part of the top 20. But I mean, he just needs a match, right? I mean, any of them guys would be in trouble. I mean, anybody, the names that I've seen on there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to see him pull, what was that?
Russ.
Schrader?
Yeah, Russ Schrader. I mean, that would have been a good one, but after feeling him, I don't know. I mean, Russ is a good puller. He pulled for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think that would have been a war. But Shane is strong, man.
I like to see him pull somebody like maybe, which Stump's kind of light now. He's not super heavyweight anymore. I think he would kill Passmore right now.
Yeah.
I don't see Passmore being not since the arm break.
No, he's yeah. I mean, maybe like maybe Walter.
Well, yeah, I'd like to see that, but yeah, Paul's so tricky.
Walter is a beast, man.
Yeah, like he knows how to take people out of their power and all that. So
yeah, he's such a legend, man. I want to get him on here too.
Yeah, I love Paul.
For to be, he has been a top puller for his whole freaking career, man. And I don't think he gets all the recognition that he deserves.
No.
But he's 100% freaking great guy, man. And he's always been helpful, inviting to practice, and always wanting to help. I mean, he's a super nice guy.
I got a good one I think would be good. I hadn't heard anything out of him in a while, but CJ Twine.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
And Shane?
Yeah.
I think ain't CJ pulling 220s?
I know he had lost some weight, but he pulls super some,
Yeah.
And I think Shane should pull 242 so I don't have to pull him,
Tell him to get down there. He was pulling 242s for a while, wasn't he?
I know it. He needs to stay down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I remember at one time he said he was coming down to 220s when I was pulling 220. I'm like, man, no, man. I said, get out of here.
Yeah.
It's funny. I had a few people tell me after back in August, whenever I won PAF, they said, well, now that you got the belt at 180, you need to go back up to 198. And I'm like, have you not seen the 198s in the South? I mean, them bastards, excuse my language, I mean, they can compete with the super heavyweights across the country. I mean, you got Ryan, Adam, Brandon, Robbie Russell, Noel Nunez, Brandon Morris, Artem. I mean, the list goes on. It is stacked. I mean, you could take 10 of them at any day of the week and put them against most super heavies, and they're going to have a damn match in their hands. And my frame's too small. I mean, when I weighed 198, I wasn't in good shape. But man, you put me beside those guys and they look like monsters, So I'm gonna stay down here with the little fellas for a little bit longer.
I think Artem's like 210 right now.
Man, he's huge. I took a picture with him in 2020 at Carolina Carnage, and he pulled 76s and I pulled 98s. And then I seen him in August in Tennessee. And I was like, oh, shit. Arnold's massive. I mean, he's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
Big difference. You know, I mean, when somebody and then you see them a year later and they're so much bigger, it's easy to notice then.
Yeah. It's,
I'm gonna skip. I'm skipping Alabama this year. I went to Alabama every year for the last 4 years, 5 years or something. I think 4 years at least. And I'm gonna skip Alabama this year because I'm coming to Tennessee, and I had to come watch Ryan beat Robbie in person.
I mean,
Everybody's coming to Tennessee.
I'm gonna need you to do this.
I got you, brother. I got you. I'll rub on you, buddy. And then there's a bunch of Tennessee guys that have hard-ons for me anyway. So I'm gonna come up there and I'm gonna be trained up, and they could come and get me because they're all the time, you know, saying this and that. So
Man.
tell them to show up. They can beat me up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love pulling in Tennessee too. That it's crazy because like whenever we go on vacation, my wife loves Florida. She loves the palm trees, and I'm the opposite. You know, I like to see them pine trees and the mountains. And a go-kart track 3 days in a row for me is a damn perfect vacation. I go to Pigeon Forge every weekend if I could. So when we go to Tennessee, I have so much fun. And Ray, his dad, man, he's crazier than a shot cat. I love him to death. He'll get me fired up so easy, like out of the blue on a Sunday. He'll send me a picture like, "You training, boy?" Have his arm all yoked up. I'm like, God, man. But I can't wait till March, man. It's gonna be good to. Well, I'm sure I'll see both of y'all in January if y'all come up here, but it's gonna be so much fun. I can't believe I'm on the same card as damn Robbie and Ryan. I mean, I feel like I'm big time now.
Oh, you are. You are big time, man. You need to just take your shirt off when you pull, and you'll just intimidate Dalton. He won't know what to do.
I can't do
it. You're ranked, man. You're ranked. You're on the rankings. You ain't nobody, man.
I'm in there, man.
Little old me ain't nowhere on there.
Well, that could be a whole nother segment right there. I feel like it's just a matter of time.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man.
You just gotta.
I mean, that's one reason to take the match. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you gotta test yourself, see where you're at, man. You know, I can't keep testing myself against Adam. I mean, come on, man, give me somebody else.
I feel like every time I pull Adam, I feel like I could beat him, and he just gives me a little bit. I get all the way over here, and I just feel like if I could dip down, I've had him that close. You know, he just give me enough rope to get him over there, and then it's just like, boom, like shit.
Yeah, that's insane, man.
He said the last time we pulled at Buford, Georgia, he's like, "You took me to deep water." I said, "Shut up." Get out of here, man.
I know, man. Every time we pull or something, he's like, "Man, you're strong." I was like, "What?" Like, yeah, all right, I'm strong, but
he's a great guy for the sport too, man.
No, he's awesome, man.
I'm gonna say, I think, you know, in 20 years from now, they're gonna be talking about him. You know, you know, he's gonna be one of the best.
Yeah.
And I've known him since like day one, just about, you know, which is cool.
Dude, imagine him at like 240, 250. You know what I mean? He's got the genetics and like the frame to hold it. You know what I mean?
Oh God, yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, I think that's what Arnold was about 240, and I think him and Adam both are about 6'1". So, you know, but him being so young, you know, I think Adam's in his mid-20s right now.
Something like that, 25, 26.
Another 10 years from now, you know, he'll still be younger than what I am today, and you too. So, I mean, it's just amazing. he's going to have so much potential in a physical aspect. It's just crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got to train twice. Us three have to train twice as hard because we're a decade behind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm 41. And what blows my mind, I know Adam, he does a lot of work, but he says he don't lift heavy weights, you know. Like you would think that he could probably curl 100 like 50 times, you know, but he don't train like that. It's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
That's why my mind works. Like if I could sit here, I like, you know, I could handle like, I don't do hundreds. I could do 85s pretty easy, you know, like work out with 85 right now. And I feel like I'm pretty strong, but I see guys like Robbie Russell, like curling 100. I'm like, come on, dude.
My biggest weight is 95 pounds, and it's two 35-pound plates on a 25-pound bar. I don't
Right.
lift heavy weights at all, and I don't even mess with that curl. I haven't messed with that curl bar in 4 months now. I've been strictly push-ups, pull-ups, bands, and then table time.
I've been
And
doing the strict curl stuff too because Joe Rogers is going to have something in a couple weeks.
yeah, it's the 17th, ain't it? I think it's in 2
Yeah.
Saturdays.
Yeah, I put, I don't know if you're on TikTok, I post videos on there, you know, lifting. So I just tried it out at the gym. I just put 100 on there, you know. I had 100-pound, one of them fixed 100-pound easy curl bars because it was so packed out, I couldn't really get the bar I wanted. And I just did it, and I did 10 of them with 100 pounds. So I'm thinking I'm only probably going to be able to do like 130, 140, maybe strict curl, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I think Artem said he's doing like 160.
No, you'll be well over 130 pounds, man. I
I'm
bet
just being, you know.
you should be over 150 if you did 110 times.
Yeah, I
you
did
know.
them good. The last one was the only slow one. It's like I just got a pump or something, you know. Because you know I come from powerlifting, so I'm like if I do a triple, I'm wore out, you know. So
See, talking Greek to me, I have no damn clue. Like
I benched 500, but you know, this is just a little different.
I've always been just a body weight workout type guy. I mean, even whenever I lifted weights in high school. You know, everybody did. Wanted to know what their bench press and squat and deadlift was.
Right.
And my bench was significant in high school. I could bench 285 and I weighed 160.
Yeah, that's good.
But my squat was only 285. My bench press was as much as my squat, and I could deadlift about I think it was 405, whatever 4 plates are on each side.
Yeah, 405.
Yeah. But I haven't did any lifting like that in 20 years. I've done some bench press, just messing around at a buddy's house, something like that. But I work out my little 10 by 12. I would call it tool shed, but it's only got weights and Christmas decorations in it. That's the only thing in it. But I don't use much of it anymore, man. I push-ups and pull-ups and bands.
Yeah.
And I don't have to heal I could get engulfed in lifting heavy weights because it's so fun, especially to hear them clanking and just boom. I like to hear that sound. So I'll get down there and the next day I'm dead. I won't be able to do nothing.
Yeah.
I'll have to go pick up trash instead of weed eat or whatever I've got going on that day. I'll have to take it easy.
Yeah.
I had somebody came up to me at the gas station the other day. They're like, man, how much you bench? And I'm just like, man, get out of here with that bench. Ask me how much I'm cupping, man. You know what I mean?
What kind of back pressure you got, bro?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like bench. Like, I mean, I'll put 275 on and rep it. You know what I'm saying? But I've had this left shoulder problem issue for a few years. I've torn labrum and all that, and it never really feels super stable. I think that's part of my left-handed problem. But I don't like to put a bunch of weight on there. But I do train bench for, if you're pulling inside, I think you need a strong chest.
Yeah.
I mean, but if anything, I'll do more reps and heavyweight when it comes to bench. Every once in a while, I'll get a little froggy and might try to put a little heavy something on there. But
I tell you what would be great, which you might already do it. Just do some heavy flies with dumbbells.
Yeah,
that's what I felt that's helped my side pressure because that's the same movement, really.
That's why I like. That's why I like.
So pec deck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
like that. I like that because you can get it here with the grip, you know what I mean, and you can go in this way, like just that movement, or you can do the widespread, which I really like that because like if you get knocked off center a little bit, and you can kind of do that pec deck little push to get you back behind your shoulder, you know what I mean, or your shoulder back behind your hand. But I like the pec deck for that. Yeah, I don't know. There's 100 ways to train, man. 100 different things, and I write workouts out, and I'm just like, I'll do them for like a month or 6 weeks, and I'm like, write up a totally new one and try that out. And I don't really, I got like my solid 10, 12 lifts that I do consistently, but there's always moving parts in the rest of it. If you have 20, then half of them stay, and maybe just do a different variation of it, heavier weight, less rep or whatever. But
and there's so many people doing so many different things. Like people are coming into the sport now, if they start now in 4 years, they're going to know just as much as somebody that's been in there 4 or 6. I mean, kids are so smart these days. They've got so much access to the internet, got them. And there's just, like you said, there's so many different ways to train, and they all work if you're doing them,
Yeah. That's the thing. If you're doing them, that's the difference. That's what's always going to separate some, people in any sport, especially this one. You could say all these workouts and, show people how to do them and stuff, but are you just doing a video and then you don't ever touch it again? Or are you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, you can tell on competition day too, you know what I'm saying?
I tell you what, works my arm out. Them guys try to get me in the arm bar for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm working it around. I'm like, you're not taking this arm. They got both hands on there pulling. Yeah.
Ike, you're too big to get in a damn arm bar, man.
Hey, they cannot put me in a triangle choke. It can't happen. So I'm just like, go ahead. I tried to let them, where they put their legs around you. I let both the black belts and everybody try it. They're like, you'd probably have to be about 6'11", 7 foot tall, with real long legs to get me in a triangle.
So you'd have to be Shaq.
Yeah.
Maybe Shaq could do it.
He might could.
Or Yao Ming.
Yeah, but it's just too much. It's too much meat. The black belt, he rubbed my head. He said, "You're just too meaty." So I'm a real nice guy. I come in there and like the people didn't really. Some guys you could tell they didn't want to roll with me, and
right.
Because a white belt is the most dangerous person in the room because they'll do something stupid,
Right.
And which I took martial arts coming up, so I'm not, I know about, not being an idiot, but this one guy, he's a Hispanic guy named Manny, and he's probably 220, 240, somewhere in there, and he's just solid, dude. And he wants to roll with me all the time. He's like, "You're the biggest guy, come on," and he wears me out. I've never sweated so much in my life, as rolling for 6 minutes at a time. It's crazy, but it's good. It makes you sore where you never thought you'd be sore before. But Manny, he told me to get a grip and get like in a half guard, underhooked his head, then underhooked his shoulder, and he told me just to hold on as hard as I can. And he wiggled for about 6 minutes, and he said, "You got a hell of a grip." And I said, I'm an arm wrestler. He said, oh.
Yeah. I don't think he knew what he was asking when he told you to hold on.
Yeah, he had an idea. Yeah, he thought he could get out of it. But
Yeah.
the only way he's ever been able to get out of it, he'll get out from under me and actually stand up and kind of frame up against me, and he could get out that way. So
Yeah.
I get wore out, like that static hold like that. It's just too much. So, but I do it for fun. I'm not going to compete in jiu-jitsu, I don't think.
Nah, that's good. I mean, it's good to get in shape.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's something good to know too. I mean, when all else fails, you can defend yourself at even when you're falling. By the time y'all hit the ground, you have them yoked up.
That's where I want to be at.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they taught me how to shoulder roll. Like I'm talking about me, all this rolling over the shoulder.
Yeah.
I would film it, but I don't know. I'd show you guys, but I wouldn't show everybody. But one of the professors come in, and I about rolled over him, because he was just walking around watching. We were just rolling down the mats, and he said, "You look like a cannonball going out there." I said, "Thank you."
That's funny, man.
I was wondering if I was going to stop or not. Just keep on going.
Right.
It's fun though. I like to do different things. So.
Yeah, no doubt, man. But that's good. So anybody got anything else, man? I think we've been out of here about an hour and a half. So
I'm good.
Some of us got to work in the morning. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But David, man, I appreciate you coming on, and it turned into more of us just kind of talking and BS, and so hopefully that was all right, man. And thank you, Ike, for filling in for Donnie. He had a little something going on at the house, some little family convention or something.
I am Donnie.
Damn, son.
I'm bulking.
Yeah.
Donnie's your arm.
Yeah.
But yeah, David, again, man, I appreciate it. Ike, I appreciate it, guys, man. And
thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, man, I look forward to seeing y'all again soon, and keep training, man.
Oh yeah.
If I don't see you before then, I don't know if you're coming up here in January, but if not, I know I'll see you in March. So.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I'll keep you updated. I think we're supposed to be going out. Wife wants to go on to Florida or something, and I think end of January, maybe. Of course, right in the middle of training, I'm like, well, if we go on vacation, I'm hitting a practice. She's like, that's fine. I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, I mean, I'll see y'all.
Heck yeah, man. See you.
All right, guys, take it easy.